foto.
Para observar el fenómeno, tendremos el apoyo de los científicos que se encuentran en Mazatlán. Con ustedes, David Esquivel, de la Sociedad Astronómica Mazatleca, y Is Luna, de Astrofísicos en Acción.
Primero que nada, agradecerle a Mazatlán por todas las astrónomas y los astrónomos que estamos aquí de visita. Seguramente no solamente somos astrónomos y astrónomas, y yo ahora sí que me voy a tomar la libertad de agradecerle a toda la comunidad mazatleca de recibirnos a todas las turistas y los turistas. Entonces, un aplauso por favor para todos los mazatlecos.
Por supuesto, también queremos agradecer a todos los que hicieron posible este espacio, al Instituto de Cultura, al licenciado Rodrigo, al alcalde de Mazatlán, que está por aquí. Por favor, alcalde, salúdenos. Gracias, gracias. Y por supuesto, a todos los miembros de la Sociedad Astronómica Mazatleca, a la Secretaría de Turismo, al Gobierno del Estado de Sinaloa. Muchísimas gracias por hacer esto posible. Vamos a contarles que estamos a punto de comenzar lo que se llama el primer contacto del eclipse, ¿vale? Entonces les vamos a pedir para explicarles cómo se ponen los lentes para que ustedes puedan observar el primer contacto.
Entonces, por favor, enséñenme todos sus lentes. Todos tienen sus lentes. Si todavía no tienen, acuérdense que están regalando también muchos lados, no solamente del parque, sino también en el malecón. Solamente acuérdense que necesitamos para ver. ¿Ya todos saben cómo los tenemos que usar? ¿Sí? ¿No? Bueno, fíjense, me voy a hacer un poquito por acá para que me dé el sol. Se los ponen, primero se los ponen. Luego ahora sí ya voltean a ver el sol. Ahí está. Mira, yo todavía a simple vista no alcanzo a ver.
Ok, está pasando una nube por ahí, vamos a esperar que se vayan quitando las nubes, pero el primer contacto es el momento en el que la luna toca al disco solar. Entonces, aunque no se ve, la luna ya está ahí, muy cerquita, ¿sale? Probablemente algunos telescopios ya lo van a empezar a notar. Vamos a las 9:52, entonces estamos en el primer contacto. En este momento el eclipse va a ir avanzando poco a poco. Tengan paciencia, es un proceso lento y vamos a ir bloqueando el disco solar poco a poco.
Pero entonces les voy a decir también que ya oficialmente comenzó el eclipse.
Es correcto, un grito, por favor. Hemos comenzado el eclipse. En esta primera parte no van a notar mucho, así que les pedimos paciencia. Cerca de una hora, más o menos 1:15, vamos a ir notando cómo la luz ambiental va a cambiar, ¿sí? Este es un momento muy interesante del eclipse, es decir, la próxima hora, porque en esta hora les voy a pedir que jueguen con las sombras, ¿vale? Jueguen con sus manos, produzcan sombras, proyectenlas, y ahí van a poder ver el eclipse. Vamos a enseñarles la técnica de las manos para hacer ver las sombras. Sí, bien, van a hacer lo siguiente, ¿vale? Tomar sus manos y van a hacer una especie de red, ¿vale? Van a tratar de que se generen unos agujeritos y una ilusión del sol. Van a tratar la sombra de esa figura para que se vean los agujeritos. Ya pasando el eclipse, noten cómo esas formas van a ir cambiando, ¿vale? Si tienen... Si tienen algún instrumento, como puede ser una cámara estenopeica o cualquier instrumento que tenga agujeritos, proyecten esas sombras en el piso, ¿vale? Van a ir viendo cómo los agujeritos no son perfectamente circulares, sino que van a ir tomando la forma del eclipse.
Es muy bonito porque es una manera que todo el mundo puede hacer observación del eclipse, son métodos indirectos, les llamamos, y justamente ayudan a que si no tienen algún otro instrumento especializado para poder directamente, pueden utilizarlo. De hecho, hay hasta talleres y así donde pueden ustedes crear una frase con puros hoyitos, ¿no? Como puntillismo, pero de hoyitos, y entonces hacer esta proyección y entonces se van a generar pues letras o frases o dibujos que tengan todos los hoyitos, pues la imagen del eclipse. ¿Alguien ya había conocido este método? ¿Había visto en redes?
Bueno, voy a cambiar
¿Sí?
para poner una nueva.
Ya, por allá dicen que sí.
Excelente. Hay que recordarles que en la parte derecha, sobre la banqueta del malecón, hay un área de observación pública con telescopios. ¿Vale? Entonces las personas que están por allá, que se van uniendo, incluso ustedes también, se pueden mover para allá, pueden acceder ahí con nuestros voluntarios para que puedan observar con el telescopio. A través del telescopio pues van a ver la imagen del sol mucho más grande y van a ir viendo el avance del eclipse. Es muy importante recordarles que a las 11:07 vamos a vivir la totalidad, ¿vale? Entonces esa es la parte más interesante y más fabulosa del... Así que vayan tomándolo con calma.
Es muy importante tomarlo con calma porque hay veces que nos desesperamos mucho, ¿no? Y también hay veces que creemos que el eclipse va a durar como poquito, solamente unos minutos y ya se acabó. Y en realidad nos va a durar casi 3 horas, 2 horas con 40 minutos. Y entonces eso implica que pues tengamos que estarnos cuidando, por favor, hidrátense, tomen agua, pónganse bloqueador solar también. Veo que también muchos traen sus sombrillitas, eso es muy bueno también para la insolación.
Claro que sí, entonces tranquilos, recuerden que esta es una fiesta, entonces queremos ánimo de fiesta, queremos mostrar el mejor Mazatlán posible a todos nuestros visitantes. Nos visitan de todas partes del país, pero también de muchas partes del mundo. Por ahí, si hay alguna sociedad astronómica de otros países, vienen de Costa Rica, vienen de Estados Unidos y de Canadá. Conversen también con los astrónomos, ellos les pueden dar muchísima información sobre el eclipse. Allá vemos a Colombia, allá está Colombia. Bienvenidos.
A ver si ya vimos Colombia, a ver, Costa Rica. ¿Dónde están los de Costa Rica? Por allá, ¿no? Yo conocí a unos de Costa Rica también en la semana.
Sí, también hay gente de Finlandia, gente de Australia, de Sudáfrica. Aquí están todos. Esta es una gran fiesta astronómica. Es nuestra obligación dar una muy buena imagen de Mazatlán para que estos turistas regresen y vean todas las bondades que tiene este puerto.
Qué bonito, y qué bonito también, pues justamente como les decía al principio, que nos haya recibido Mazatlán tan bonito. Yo también les quiero agradecer a Astronómica Mazatleca por recibirnos, por estar también en esta parte de la organización como casa, porque esto al final de cuentas es para todas las personas que estamos aquí. Sí.
De verdad, el eclipse es un evento que les aseguro van a recordar por el resto. Así vivan 20, 30 o 40 años más, van a recordando el 8 de abril de 2024. Así que compartan esto con su familia, abrácense, quiéranse, recuerden, esto es una fiesta y guarden este recuerdo porque el próximo eclipse pues vamos a tener que esperar más de 300 años para que vuelva a pasar aquí en Mazatlán. Así que bueno, ya no nos va a tocar, pero este es el momento para estar aquí.
Muchas gracias, David. Gracias, Chris. Continuamos ahora con un vals. Ustedes lo recuerdan. 2001, Odisea del Espacio.
Está bien el color y todo, la calibración y todo está bien, ¿no? Dale, perfecto. Dale, ahí ya. Sí, dime. Claro. No, van a ir fases. Te voy a mandar fases, pero no tantas. Si yo vea que hay una diferencia entre una y la otra, es lo que te quiero decir. ¿Sí me entiendes? Para que se vaya notando el proceso. No, sí, lo que pasa es que no puedo estar sacando, hermano,
is an eclipse. You feel that connection with space.
Oh my gosh!
Look at the ray structure.
The universe is out there and it's affecting us. We are in space.
And here it comes, there's the diamond ring. And that is the most spectacular sight.
If you haven't seen it, you haven't seen anything.
Hello, and welcome to live coverage of the celestial event of the year, the total solar eclipse. Over the next 3 hours, we will follow the moon's shadow as it races across North America. We are anchoring our coverage from the heart of downtown Cleveland, Ohio, just down the road from NASA's Glenn Research Center, the only NASA center in today's path of totality. I'm NASA's Megan Cruz, and this is NASA lunar scientist Sarah Noble. Hello. Today, NASA and the Great Lakes Science Center is hosting this free outdoor event for the community to experience the total solar eclipse together. You saw that beautiful aerial shot that we just had opening the show. We're seeing it again here. As you can see, we have a great fun crowd here.
Yeah, we've been watching the crowd build all morning, and you can really feel the excitement starting to come now.
Yeah, absolutely. The watch item, of course, is the weather. Beautiful right now here in Cleveland.
It's perfect right now.
It's perfect, yes.
We woke up to rain and it cleared, but I don't know what we're going to get this afternoon.
Yeah, Sarah, you said that with a little bit of trepidation, and that's because it looks like there might be some cloud cover around the time of the total solar eclipse here, totality, but we'll see. All right, so on your screen now is the first look at the eclipse from Maza, one of the first communities the moon's shadow will darken today. Right now you see we're seeing a partial eclipse of the sun right now, but if you look at the upper left-hand corner of your screen, we're expecting totality there in about 1 hour and 4 minutes. And we want to thank our team of telescope operators spread out across North America. Because of them, we will view of the sun during this entire broadcast, which is really awesome.
All the way from Mazatlan up to Maine.
Yeah, a very large swath, and we have it covered the whole way through. Now, if you scan your QR code that you see on the screen here, it'll take you to a live stream dedicated to just those telescope views, and it'll also take you to a Spanish broadcast of today's eclipse, and that starts at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And Sarah, as you know this, all of the telescopes used for this broadcast have special filters on them, and those protect the operator's equipment and also the operators themselves, because if the eclipse without the proper protection, then it can severely damage your eyes.
Yeah, that's right. We want everyone to enjoy the eclipse today, but we want them to do it safely.
Right. So how do you do that safely? Well, you should be shielding your eyes with eclipse glasses like these. Hopefully you bought them from a reputable source and that they have reading on them, and this rating means that the lenses meet international standards to protect your eyes from the sun's bright light. But Sarah, you can remove the glasses during totality.
That's
correct?
right. If you're lucky to be in the path of totality, you can, for those, that short amount of time that you're in 100% totality. 99% totality doesn't cut it.
Right, exactly. 100%, nothing less. Now, if you don't have eclipse glasses, you can enjoy it indirectly with tools like filters, and if you want to make one with us live in about 30 minutes, just grab a sturdy piece of paper or cardboard and a thumbtack or other sharp pin. I'm going to use my NASA pin for when we make it. All right, so Sarah, what are we expecting today? What is a total solar eclipse?
So total solar eclipse happens when the Earth, the moon, and the sun are so perfectly aligned that the moon completely blacks out our view. 18 months or so, but like in any particular place, it's a pretty rare event.
Yeah, I mean, specifically here in Cleveland, the last time Cleveland had a total solar eclipse, get this, 1806.
Wow, that's remarkable.
So quite a long time ago. Yeah. Once in a lifetime opportunity. All right, but not everyone is able to see the moon completely eclipsing the sun.
That's right. In this narrow path of totality, but just about everyone in the U.S. will get to see a partial eclipse today, weather permitting.
Weather permitting, yes. I hope here and everyone else along the path of totality will be good and clear. Okay, so let's take a look at today's path of totality. Through parts of Mexico, 15 U.S. states, and southeastern Canada. There's an estimated 32 million people who live, not to mention the tens and thousands of people who travel to somewhere along it as well, like us. You're from D.C. and I'm from Florida.
I feel very able to see this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have live reports from our correspondents spread out across the path. I'll share this event with you. Some recognizable locations in between. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home of the famous Indy 5, and also Niagara Falls, where officials expect up to 1 million visitors. Look at our team there waving at you. Happy to see you guys, and we'll hear from you soon. Okay, so again, we will hear from those correspondents, but also on our broadcast, a live interview with astronauts on board International Space Station. Sarah's already ready.
So excited.
She's ready, because that's going to be obviously a unique place to witness today's celestial event. So that. We're also going to explain some of the science NASA will conduct during the eclipse and why that's important to you. And if you have questions, cosmic alignment, use the hashtag eclipse to send those in wherever you're watching us. We already have some questions from some kids. I can't wait to surprise you with who that is. All right, in addition to NASA's eclipse event here, there are plenty more in community country, so why don't we take a look at some of them now. All right, so this is the California Academy. That's a beautiful place to witness.
Wow, it looks like they have great weather today. They're only going to get a partial eclipse there, but, you know, still, that is more than enough reason to get up and enjoy some time with your friends and family.
Waco, Texas, people have their seats. They're ready to go. They're all comfortable. I see some coolers there. And this is the Adirondack Sky Center. They have a big field for people to view. You know, a couple of days ago, we saw the same field. It was
snow, so I'm glad they have a nice place to sit.
Exactly. And Kennedy Space Center, the famous rocket garden that we have at the visitors complex there, that's to watch a partial
eclipse, yep.
Yeah. And then lastly, the Mentor Civic Amphitheater field again to take a look out into and enjoy today's event. I'm sure that'll fill up soon.
Yes, I'm sure. Still gathering there.
All right, very much a party atmosphere we've seen in some of those watch parties, and especially here, again, the music, the exhibits, all the things happening. Kind of reminds me of a sporting event, you know? So because of that, I'm going to ask you, who's the GOAT today, right? Is it the moon or is it the Earth?
I mean, I'm a lunar scientist, so I may be a little biased, but you got to go with the moon on this one, right? It's the moon that is for the block today. It's all the action to the moon.
I love that sports reference, but I'm going to have to say Earth. Because we love our home planet, right? But because we're here, the moon has something to project its shadow on, and that's why the moon has something to project its shadow on, and that's why we have the celestial alignment and show we're about to see today. That's where I'm going. That's how I'm going, yeah? All right, and now we want to know which team you're on. You can cast your vote by going to @NASA Solar System on Facebook, X, or Instagram, and we'll reveal the winning team at the end of the broadcast. Earth. The moon shadow will only be over land for about 1 hour and 28 minutes today, moving at an average speed of about 1,900 miles an hour. Keeping track of it for us is NASA's James Traley.
Yeah, thanks so much, Megan. I'm going to have to go with option number 3 there, the sun, because it gives us the energy for us to thrive here on Earth. And speaking of energy, it is bustling here at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. I'm coming to you from our new Gateway exhibit, where we today only have a partial eclipse, but still super excited to be tracking all of today's events. Eclipse Explorer. This right here is a fantastic tool that was developed by our friends at NASA Goddard Science Visualization Studio. They put this tool together for us to track the eclipse down to the exact second. If you wanted to get an access to this yourself, get a feel for how this is going to look in your neck of the woods, you can go to go.nasa.gov/eclipse explorer, and you can track where your city is going to be, your zip code, by punching it into this little box here. It's going to snap right to your location and give you some key stats. You just saw Cleveland there, so I can bring them up here. Cleveland is expecting peak to start at 3:13:45 to be precise, local time. They've got a time of totality of 3 minutes, 49 seconds, plenty of time to really sit back and bask in their moment in the fully eclipsed sun. I'm going to be tracking all of this all throughout the afternoon for you to make sure that you do not miss a second of this coverage. Even if you're outside of that path of totality like we are right here, more than 99% of the U.S. is going to be able to see at least a partial eclipse. Some places are already experiencing, you just saw that footage from Mazatlan a little while ago, they are already experiencing a partial eclipse. If you are in partial, be sure to wear proper eye protection to protect your vision so you can safely enjoy today's fantastic celestial event. Plenty of awesome stuff coming up. We're going to keep a keen eye on that weather.
Cleveland's looking nice and beautiful, very clear skies. Megan, back to you.
Thank you, James. And joining us now is Dr. Bob Lehman, a heliophysicist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So talk to us. Today's total solar eclipse, it's going to look very different from what we saw 7 years ago, right?
It is, right. The sun is going to look, the solar corona is going to look very cool today. It's going to look cooler than it did last time. And I mean cool in the sense of wow.
Not cold.
Not cold, because the solar corona is like 1,000,000 degrees. But compared to last time, was close to the solar minimum, the minimum amount of magnetic activity on the sun. There's this 11-year or so cycle, and 2017 was closer to minimum, and 2024, April 2024 is pretty much close right to the maximum of that. So we're going to see the maximum amount of dynamism, of activity, and it's going to see rays shooting out.
And does that increased activity mean that we have a chance for new discoveries today and increased science?
Sure. So in addition to the science that will be done because of the eclipse, just greater activity levels means that we have more chance to see what the sun is going to do, increased radiation levels, increased activity, eruptions that will affect the Earth.
So how does that affect the Earth, and how do we study those effects? What do we have, the tools, the assets to study those effects?
Sure. So we call the whole general thing space weather, so we get increased radiation or what we call coronal mass ejections, chunks of the sun that blow off and hit the Earth, and those affect things like power grids and radio communications, and all of which are everyday real implications for that thing that's 93 million miles away.
And how do you feel? You know, you're a heliophysicist. This is kind of like your Super Bowl.
Pretty much, yeah. You are not the first person to say that to me today.
and are we right?
Pretty much, yes. I mean, this is it. I mean, 7 years and the diving, trying to reach the goal line from the Super Bowl, what, 15, 20 years ago, that was like, totality, not totality. And yeah, today is it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we will have a whole bunch of fun here.
Yeah, again, eclipses are a unique opportunity to really study the sun and how it affects us. So I know that, again, your fellow heliophysicists and really across the disciplines of science, I know that today is really special for a lot of people.
It is, yes.
Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, it's time now to check in with our first team along the path of totality. Here is Tahira Allen in Kerrville, Texas, a city so lucky it gets a total solar eclipse twice in a single year.
Thanks, Megan, and welcome to Kerrville, Texas. I'm Tahira Allen with NASA Communications.
And I'm Gina DiBraccio, the Deputy Physics at NASA Goddard.
We're live from the Kerrville Eclipse Festival, where tens of thousands are gathering to witness the second solar eclipse that has passed through this town in just 6 months. Now, this is incredibly rare, and people have traveled from all over the world to share an spectacular moment roads of the eclipse. Now,
the annular was such a spectacular experience, but I'm already feeling even more energy today, and
it's
I'm
like
so
double
excited
the crowd.
to be here. It is. Yeah.
No, and we have a full day of celebration. The town really turned out for this event. This morning we heard from the mayor, and we are surrounded with food and shopping and activities. I think I saw the Texas State Astronomy Club here.
Yeah, we did.
Giving out free telescope viewings. So it's just a really, really special people to come together and enjoy this celestial event.
It's great to hear it. And we had some cloud coverage today. It's looking to be pretty good.
Going back and forth, fingers crossed.
Regardless of how this turns out, we have live music and dancing afterwards, so it's going to be a good day.
Absolutely, and this is going to be my first total solar eclipse. Awesome. And so last year was incredible with the annular. Folks, if this is your first total eclipse, let us know in the comments wherever you're watching. We'd love to hear it. So this is also a good time to remind everyone that it is not to look directly at the sun without specialized eye protection for solar viewing. Now that is except during the brief phase where the moon is complete, and that will only be for those in the path of totality. Now we have a special guest that you might recognize in to share some important tips to make sure you stay safe during today's events.
Hi, Eclipse enthusiasts. enthusiast, Lance Bass here, and I want to tell you how to protect those eyes and stay safe during a solar eclipse. During these celestial events, the sun, earth, and moon are in sync, creating solar eclipses. You can look directly at the sun during a total solar eclipse, but only when it's completely covered by the moon for a brief period known as totality. This is a really special moment. At all other times, you should wear eclipse glasses so that you don't say bye-bye-bye to your vision. Seriously. And eclipse glasses are not the same as regular sunglasses. No, they're not. Safe solar viewers are thousands of times darker and will have a specific certification that you should look for right here. Don't be a space cowboy and try to look directly at the sun. If you don't have eclipse glasses, you can use an indirect viewing method, like a pinhole projector. You can make one of these with something as simple as an index card with a hole, or a colander, or even your hands. With the sun at your back, you can safely project an image of the sun through the hole onto a nearby surface like the ground. It's gonna be me who is wearing my eclipse, and so are you.
Now, you can't have an eclipse without the sun, the moon, and the earth. And as you heard from Megan and Sarah earlier, we've been hosting a friendly competition to see which one of these three teams that you're siding with today. Now, Gina, I feel like it almost goes unsaid here, but I have to ask. I don't want to assume. Which team are you repping today?
You probably were going to guess sun.
Oh,
Team Sun.
Who would have thought?
You're right.
No.
So heliophysics, it's the study of the sun and its influence on everything. And it impacts all of our planets. And today, the solar corona is stealing the spotlight of the show. So Team Sun for me.
I guess it really is the star of the show today. But you know what, Gina? I think I'm going to have to be a little bit biased too.
Okay.
So International Observe the Moon Night, which is NASA's annual celebration of all things moon, actually falls on my birthday this year.
Okay.
So I think I'm having a little bit of a lunar connection.
All right, Team
But
Moon.
for those watching, if you haven't joined the fun yet, you can vote for your eclipse team on NASA's Solar System Facebook, X, and Instagram. We're going to be sharing those poll results throughout the show, so be sure to go vote for your team. Now, also during the broadcast, you can send us questions using #Eclipse on social media. We have teams standing by online to answer, and we're going to be taking some of those questions live on today's show. Now, speaking about taking questions live, Gina, we actually had some kids send in videos before today's show.
Oh, nice.
So let's roll one of those right now.
My name is Jonathan. My question is, will NASA do any experiments during the solar eclipse? Thank you.
Oh, great question, John. We have a bunch of different experiments that will take place during the eclipse today. So first, we're trying to study the solar corona. So we have NASA's WB-57 high-altitude research jet flying across the path of totality, taking pictures of that upper atmosphere of the sun, that corona, so that we can learn its composition, why it gets to be heated to extreme temperatures. But we also care about its impact on Earth and the upper atmosphere. So we're launching 3 sounding rockets up into the atmosphere before, during, and after peak eclipse so that we can study how the atmosphere is changing as well.
So, you know, we're studying it with a plane, we're studying it with rockets.
Exactly.
Any other way?
You know, we have balloons, science balloons that are going up too, and we also have different ways that the public will be able to get involved in some of these experiments too.
Thanks, Gina, and I actually have a great follow-up question to this. This is from Lisa on Facebook, who wants to know more about the sounding rockets. So they ask, why is NASA shooting rockets into the moon's shadow during today's events?
Okay, let's talk more about the sounding rockets because they are a lot of fun. So the first sounding rocket will be 45 minutes before peak eclipse, the next one during that peak eclipse, and the final one after, 45 minutes after. And that's because we really want to understand the difference in density and temperature and these different factors in the upper atmosphere and really get a sense of how the atmosphere changes as the eclipse is coming and passes over. So we have all up and it'll be a good day for that.
Great, and hopefully we'll get to see a replay of that later on in today's show.
That's right.
Now, folks, it is really back here in Kerrville, Texas, covering today's total solar eclipse. Just last October, an annular solar eclipse passed right through this town. Now, for a location to be at the crossroads of these two incredible celestial events is rare. Let's take a look at how the community has been preparing in the lead up to this big day.
Kerrville is the eclipse capital. It is known as being the capital of the Texas Hill Country. It's the epitome of Texas. Ranches, deer, beautiful streams like the Guadalupe here,
Kerrville is very welcoming.
It's a wonderful community.
Tight-knit, small.
It has about 25,000 people.
Kerrville is blessed to be in that special square, the AND 2023 and the total solar eclipse in 2024.
We're talking about crossroads, you know, we get it twice.
Two eclipses right here, right where I stand. Well, it's statistically extraordinary.
We get two in less than 6 months.
Everybody's excited about it. City council, county commissioners, everybody's working diligently to be able to provide safe opportunity for the influx of people.
This will be the biggest event in the history of the city, and that's why the city is preparing. We're preparing to make the event enjoyable for everybody who wants to see this tremendous natural phenomenon.
I think that Kerrville has done an awesome job of preparing, way in advance.
It's getting that message out to people to make sure that they're taken care of personally, but then there's the science part of it, letting them know what is an eclipse.
And I'm just having a great time going out and talking to civic organizations and clubs and to talk about eclipses. So this will be my 4th and 5th solar eclipses.
I've seen total eclipse in Nebraska. I drove 1,200 miles for a little over 2 minutes, and it was
And just couldn't believe the experience of the eclipse. I mean, it's still just, it literally gives me goosebumps every time I talk about it. It's a visceral, emotional experience that is just, you have to experience it to understand.
I thought I knew what it would be like, but I gasped at the sheer wonder.
It's going to be a, you're going to hear that intake of air and awe.
It was the most beautiful natural thing I've ever seen. So to have an eclipse basically in my backyard is just, it's indescribable.
We're here now with Catherine Troach, a telescope operator with the Night Sky Network, who is giving us these high-definition views of the sun that you see in your screen right now, of the eclipse over Kerrville, Texas. Kat, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me, and let's thank the weather for cooperating finally.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Thanks, Kat. And so I'm looking at the telescope feed that we have, and we have first contact now here in Kerrville.
Yes.
Okay, so for people who want to become an amateur astronomer, what advice do you have? Where should they get started?
The easiest way to get started in the United States, you would just use our search function to plug in your city and find the club that's closest to you. And if you don't have a club that's close to you, you can use our coordinator kits to start your own astronomy club.
That is awesome. And you know what? For folks, if you want some more details on the Night Sky Network and other things on how to become an amateur astronomer, you can visit go.nasa.gov/Night Sky Network. Now, a fun fact about today's broadcast that I absolutely loved learning was that so many of our telescope views that you're going to be seeing today are from amateur astronomers. And so, Kat, again, on this topic of, sky gazing, I heard that those in the path of totality might be able to witness more than just a total solar eclipse today. Could you give us a sneak peek on what we could expect?
Absolutely. So if we have clear skies in the path of totality, as it gets darker, you'll start to see 2 bright points of light. That would be Jupiter and Venus. And then as we get to totality, you'll be able to see the fainter planets, Saturn, Mercury, and Mars. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to catch Comet 12P.
Oh, what a crazy, cosmic alignment today, So, man.
Great. So for the amateur astronomers that actually want to view today's celestial event, what tips do you have for them?
So, of course, you need to have solar protection, you need to have solar-safe glasses, and you need to have solar filters for your telescopes, your binoculars, your cameras. But you can also use indirect viewing, like a pinhole projector box, or you can use a disco ball.
A disco ball?
Yes.
Wait, how does this work? Can you, walk us through this?
So as the sun hits the mirrors, and it'll cast a little reflection onto the surface here, you'll see little crescent shapes as the eclipse progresses.
That is incredible.
We need to keep that disco ball.
Oh, yeah.
Right? No, seriously. So, Gina, didn't you say you could also use your hands
That's
at one
right.
point?
You can take your fingers and weave them together to let the light project through so that you can see the projection of the eclipse on the ground.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. So a lot of different ways to be able to view today's event.
There's no one wrong way to do it, unless you're
just
using
to do it.
Just do it. Just make sure you do it safely.
Yeah. And so, Kat, too, earlier you gave me a little reveal of your shirt, and it is too perfect for today's show. Could you give our viewers a little taste?
No problem. So if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Totality going on at the moment.
Love it.
Thank you so much for being here, Kat.
Thank you again
Kat.
for having me.
Absolutely. And so now coming up soon, we're going to get our first views of the total solar eclipse as it begins in Mexico, sweeping across North America. We have correspondents all along this path who are going to bring you live into the action as it happens. First up, let's check in with Joy Ung in Dallas, Texas.
Thanks to Harry and Gina. So welcome to the Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Garden. I'm Joy Ung, and as you can see behind me, we have a lot of people eagerly waiting for the total solar eclipse. It's so amazing to hear so many people talk about the sun and the moon, and what makes this day even special is that the eclipse gives scientists a really unique chance to do science. So to tell me more, I'm here with NASA scientist, Dr. Ashley Greeley. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Joy. Thanks for having me.
So firstly, how are you feeling about today?
I'm feeling really excited. The skies are starting to clear out, and it looks like we might get a pretty good show.
Fingers crossed. So earlier in the show, we learned that today's eclipse will look quite different from the 2017 eclipse. We're going to see more structures in the sun's outer atmosphere. So Ashley, can you tell me, why is that different? Why is the sun going to look different, and why is it changing?
Sure. The sun goes through phases, which we call a solar cycle, that last roughly 11 years. And those are periods where the sun is less active and periods where the sun is more active. We're entering a time of solar maximum, which is really exciting because that means that the sun is more active. Its magnetic fields are more dynamic. We may see features here, such as streamers, which looks like little spiky wisps in the sun's atmosphere, which we call the corona, and then little prominences, which look like little pink arcs on the surface of the sun. Yeah, we're really excited to see this, and we hope that we'll see some really interesting features. There may be a little bit of asymmetry as well in the magnetic fields, and I don't know, I guess we'll have to find out in about an hour.
So the sun is changing. So do those changes affect life on Earth at all?
Sure, yes. The sun does affect life here on Earth. We have a term that we call space weather, which applies to the field of study of everything from the sun to the Earth and in between, and how that affects life here. We are fortunate that on Earth we are protected from things coming from the sun by our magnetic fields, which shield us from those explosions that come from the surface of the sun that we talked about. And those can result in really fun occurrences, such as the aurora. There can be some negative side effects, but those are mostly limited to things that are outside our magnetic fields. The storms from the sun can interfere with satellites, and it's something we really have to think about as scientists as we start to plan for putting humans on the surface of the moon or potentially sending them to Mars. Those energetic particles that result from the sun can impact humans, so that's just something that we have to learn about and take into account.
So the sun is always there, of course, but why are eclipses a good time to study these effects called space weather?
Yeah, eclipses are a really cool time for scientists to be able to study the sun. It's really hard to completely cover the disk of the sun in order to study the sun's atmosphere, especially that inner part of the atmosphere. We're really fortunate that here on Earth, our moon is just the right size and just the right distance from Earth that it can completely block out the sun's disk during total solar eclipses. So we're really able to observe that inner atmosphere in a way that we can't normally. So this event is really exciting for both scientists and the public alike, and that's just such a cool experience to share together.
Thank you so much, Ashley. So if you're lucky enough to be in the path of totality, keep an eye out for that sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, and you'll know that you see these spiky features, and it's because the sun is heading towards its most active phase. So for now, let's head to our friends in Russellville, Arkansas. Jasmine, how are things looking on your side?
Joy, things are looking absolutely fabulous in a very sunny downtown Russellville, Arkansas. As she said, I'm NASA's Jasmine Hopkins, and I am coming to you live from the Depot District, where the city is throwing a massive block party, all in celebration of the total solar eclipse. Now, people in Arkansas have great reason to celebrate because this is only the second total solar eclipse visible from the state since it was first established in 1836, and the next one visible from here won't happen for another 2 decades. event. So people around me are gearing up for what feels like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now, it's not just the residents of Russellville that are excited. On average, the city has about 29,000 residents, but for the past 8 months, they've been preparing to receive upwards of 100,000 tourists right here in the city. Now, of course, NASA has been a big part of that preparation. So to show you what we've been doing to help, I have a video here to show you. So we have been talking to the next generation of space explorers right here in Arkansas. We started off at Arkansas Technical University, and then we moved on to Russellville City Schools, where we spoke to hundreds of students all the way from 8th grade to 12th grade about this total solar eclipse. We had NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, the Arkansas Air National Guard, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and even the Paris Observatory joining us all the way from France. Now, during that moment of totality, Arkansas will experience from 94 to 100% obscurity from the sun, and we'll have 4 minutes and 12 seconds to really soak in that fantastic cosmic event. Now, until that moment, of course, we are telling the residents to stay safe, keep those solar eclipse glasses on. But now let's go from Arkansas to Illinois with Blair Allen. How are things looking for you?
Jasmine, we're super excited here because crowds are filing into the stadium, but the main story here is the weather. Everything looks absolutely good and clear for totality today. We're very excited. We're just hoping, just like 2017, a little cloud doesn't come in and obscure things. But I tell you what, there's been a total solar eclipse here in 2017. Observation did not stop at SIU. Joining us now are 2 SIU students who actually did some observing. This is Callie and Paige. Now, Callie, I know that you guys went to Australia in 2023 and you observed the totality using an interesting technique. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so when we were in Australia, we used a sun funnel to view it, and what it does is it projects basically what the telescope is seeing onto a film. And so a sun funnel is just basically a funnel with 2 hose clamps and rear projection film, and it just projects the sun, and we actually captured a picture of totality as that eclipse was happening.
And it's pretty cool because it allows other people, instead of having to go through the eyepiece, you get to see it. Pretty impressive. Now, Paige, you guys are going to do some observation today. What are you set up for here in Carbondale today?
Yes, so we have 2 telescopes set up with the sun funnels for viewing for a select view of the public, and right now we're pointed at the sun and we're excited to see totality.
Now, what are your odds on good weather?
It's looking pretty good. I'm excited.
Isn't that great? I'm so excited. I tell you what, one final question, because I know you're experts with solar safety, but Team Earth, Sun, or Moon?
We're both Team Moon.
Team Moon, Team Sun. I tell you, that's the best you're going to get, but we're all pro eclipse. Back to you, Tahira.
Let's go Team Moon. So, as you can see, folks, we've got a lot of exciting things in store all across this country, and that was only half of it. You're going to meet three more of our locations later on in the show. Now, Gina, we've got a ton of questions coming in online right now from our viewers. Yep. How do you feel about some Q&A?
Let's answer some.
Okay, perfect. Let's do it. So our first question is from Fair Cerritos on Instagram, who wants to know, how can I help NASA?
You can help NASA by participating in the eclipse. If you can see it today, go outside, enjoy the moment, or download the Globe Observer app. You can do that right now before the eclipse crosses your path. You need a thermometer, and you just record the local temperatures and the cloud coverage.
Fantastic. Globe Observer app. So thank you so much, Gina, and thank you to everybody sending in those questions. We'll take some more later on throughout the show. For now, let's check back in with Megan and Sarah in Cleveland, who are standing by with an out-of-this-world surprise.
Yes, quite literally that, Tahira, because we have a special treat for our viewers right now, joining us live in space, 250 miles above the Earth in the International Space Station. Everyone, please help us welcome NASA astronauts Jeanette Epps and Mike Barrett. Sarah, you've been waiting.
I'm so excited.
For this.
Oh, there they are.
Hello, everyone. Oh, Jeanette, Mike, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to join you guys, and I hope everybody appreciates NASA scheduling this eclipse to bring the world together.
Yes, thank you so much to NASA, and thank you so much for joining us. Now you guys will have 3 opportunities to view the moon's shadow over North America, and that last pass will give you guys the best views. And we hope to also share those live views with everyone here on this broadcast around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, Jeanette, I have 2 questions for you. Are you looking forward to being one of the few people seeing today's total solar eclipse from space? And 2, I know your crew member Matt Dominic will use a camera with a solar filter to photograph the sun being eclipsed by the moon. Will you also be taking photos of the celestial alignment?
Definitely taking pictures of the solar alignment. I think we're very fortunate to be here at this special vantage point to see such a special event at this time. So I'm definitely excited.
What about you, Mike? What's going through your mind as you're preparing to see such an awe-inspiring event?
Well, admittedly, I'm a bit of an eclipse junkie. You know, my first one was like when I was 19 with the homemade telescope in the desert, and a few since then. And actually, during the 2017 eclipse, I was on a chartered aircraft several hundred miles off the coast of Oregon watching it. And I got a strange bucket list, and this is one of the things that's on it, to actually watch an eclipse shadow cross the Earth from space. So I'm ecstatic to see this box gets checked and just to see this amazing thing from up here.
Yeah, the fact that that was actually a box on your list is pretty amazing. And then now it's getting checked. So, you know, for those wondering, this is what the moon's shadow will look like to Jeanette and Mike. We're going to show you video taken from the space station of the total solar eclipse in 2017. And you can clearly see the shadow moving across the top of your screen there from left to right. We actually sped up the video so you can see more of that transit. This would look a lot slower to them, but really cool. Jeanette, eclipses give us a unique opportunity to study the sun and how it affects the Earth. Can you tell us about the atmospheric waves experiment attached to the outside of the space station right now?
Sure. We have an atmospheric wave experiment that's going on now, and what it looks at are these atmospheric gravity waves. And these waves transport energy and momentum up through the climate system. So with the imager on the atomic wave experiment, we're going to look at how these atmospheric gravity waves impact our Earth's climate, how it can impact our space and global and all of our comms, how it can affect our navigation system. And so over the next 2 years, researchers will use an infrared imager to look at the global distribution of these waves as well as their characteristics.
Mike, how does it feel to have a hand in maintaining the space station so that important science like the atmospheric waves experiment can happen?
Well, of course, the main reason we're up here is actually to conduct that science. We maintain the station to keep this platform what it should be, what it was built to be, which is a vibrant laboratory, which covers so many different disciplines on the inside and the outside, like the gravity waves experiment. I mean, it's an honor and a privilege, as much as anything, to have a hand in that science, and we end up being basically the eyes, the hands, the on-site presence to conduct that science. And we get to be the first to see results of just amazing things that are years in the making by a bunch of really smart, ambitious scientific teams on the ground. So that's really where the joy is. Maintaining the station is just like maintaining a research ship, something I actually quite like. So I feel very much at home in that role.
It's still blowing my mind. I mean, we're here in Cleveland, Ohio, live. You guys are up in space in the International Space Station. I can't believe the opportunity that has been afforded to us, and I hope our viewers really enjoyed this time with you. And I hope you enjoy the show from up there. All right.
We have, but we do want to close by saying, first of all, we really enjoy being here, but everybody stay safe. And use the simple means to protect your eyes as you look at the eclipse, as Jeanette and I are modeling here, which makes us blind as a bat on the inside, but solar protected on the outside. So we encourage everyone to do the same.
Really great advice from both of them. Thank you so much. Sarah and I have our glasses, and we're ready to go. Also blind if we don't do this. All right, again, Jeanette, Mike, thank you so much. And we actually have some time to take questions from the audience. We have hashtag Eclipse. That's how you can send questions to us. So let us take a video from another curious kid we have watching.
Hi, my name is Adrian. My question is, why will we not see a total eclipse in California? Thank you.
That's a great question, Adrian. So we only a precious few today are going to get to see a total eclipse because the moon is so much smaller than the Earth. It only casts a very narrow shadow. But still, even in California, you're going to get to see a partial eclipse, and that is still a really cool event. So I do encourage you to get out there and see it for yourself today.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, hashtag Eclipse. Wherever you're watching us, drop that in the comments, and we'll try to get to as many questions as we can on the show. Okay, so we have obviously people celebrating with us online and at events across the country. So why don't we check out some of those events again now? Waco, Texas again. People look very, very comfortable in their camping chairs and spread out on picnic blankets.
They look like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
A few clouds.
A few clouds, but again, they have some time there before. Kennedy Space Center, they will see a partial eclipse. We have some people walking around the Rocket Garden.
Oh, it looks like they have beautiful weather there.
California Academy of Sciences, yes they do. They have clear skies. We're very, very jealous over here. And then the Mentor Civic Amphitheater that's starting to
fill up.
Exactly. There were fewer people when we checked in ago, but now lots of people there and lots of people at the Adirondack Sky Center. I wish I could wave and say hello.
They look like they're getting ready for some stuff though.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the snow cleared out because there was snow over the weekend, but now it looks like a beautiful, probably still crisp day there for them. Okay, and now we're back here with astronaut Steve Bone, who's looking around, taking in the sights, Steve. I see.
It's just an amazing amount of people. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, you can feel the energy.
And it's really cool that you're here. So Steve is here because, you know, obviously, as we've been saying throughout the show, you really should have these glasses to safely view the eclipse. But if you don't have glasses, that's why Steve is here. So Steve, I see that you brought some supplies for us.
I did. I have a little bit for everybody, and we'll see how we can do here today.
All right.
So this is like a pinhole viewer, and so it's basically a pinhole camera. I don't know if you ever had to do that when you were a kid. Is make a little camera by basically poking a hole in a piece of paper.
Okay.
And then using that to focus onto a screen.
Okay.
And so we all have pins here, I guess.
Yes. So we have a paper plate, we have index card, and we have pins.
And I have my Crew 6 pin.
Nice, nice. All right, so what do we do, Steve?
Basically, all you have to do is poke a hole in the cardboard.
Okay.
And the sides of the hole will determine the focal length, the focal distance of your viewer.
Okay.
And it has to be big enough that the light will come through. And it's sometimes hard to do if we don't have like direct sunlight. So you want to make sure you have a big enough hole. I think that'd probably be enough. Yeah. And then what you'll end up doing, if we had the sun, you could basically over your shoulder, don't look at the sun.
Sun behind us.
Sun behind us.
Yes.
And so you hold this up, and you'll see, you can actually get, there it is. I can see.
We do see it with the lights, the studio lights.
You only need a little bit, and then depending on how far in and out you move it, and the sides of the hole, that gives you your focal length.
Got it.
Just like a lens.
And basically, like we're saying with the studio lights, if something were to pass over the studio lights, that same shadow essentially would be projected through
Absolutely.
the index card right now. That's how you safely watch it.
That is a good, safe way to watch it. There's a lot of other ways to see it as well.
I know that. I have that.
Come prepared.
Colander, right?
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun because if you're in an open area like this today, and you don't have your glasses or you just want to see something really cool, again, put it over your shoulder and hold it, and you'll get a big array of all those little eclipses happening on the ground below you.
Yeah, actually, I think we have a picture of that. I'd love to see that because really it is a very, perfect. Look at that, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, even if you don't have anything, right, you can actually use your hands to make your own sort of improvised pinhole camera.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And, you know, I was explaining a little bit ago that in my own yard during the annual eclipse, when I was out working in the yard, and I said, hey, there's an annular eclipse going on. So I went under a tree, and I was looking at a tree, and then on my driveway, all these little eclipses, just hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely amazing pictures.
Great. So I hope if people have trees near them, they can take a look at that. Steve, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Have a great day.
All right, so the eclipse is getting closer and closer to the west coast of Mexico. We will experience totality there at Mazatlan, in particular, 2:07 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's head back over to James at our eclipse board for another look at the path of totality.
Yeah, thanks so much, Megan. A lot coming up very soon, and make sure you know exactly when to go outside to observe that totality if you're on our path, or even right now if you're experiencing a partial eclipse. I've got in our Eclipse Explorer here, I can zoom out just a hair here to show you this. I've got our penumbra on, so this is all the places inside here already experiencing a partial eclipse. You've been seeing some great feeds from our camera in Mazatlan, Mexico. They've been experiencing that kind of crescent sun for a little while now. They're just about 20 minutes out from actually experiencing totality itself. They're going to have a long window where they are 4 minutes and 17 seconds. For some context, back in 2017, the last eclipse that swept across America, the longest time was only around 2 minutes and 40 seconds. That was in Carbondale. This time around, some very long times, just a little bit northwest of Torreon, Mexico. They're going to get upwards of 4.5 minutes. A lot of time to really observe it, but just make sure that you know when to be outside. And as always, access that tool at go.nasa.gov/eclipse explorer. This is going to keep moving on. You see this little thing. I have this actually running in real time. This is our shadow of totality. This is going to continue to move further and further to the northeast and actually make landfall in just a few moments in Mazatlan, Mexico. As you've seen all throughout the broadcast, we've got correspondents all up and down the U.S., all the way up to Maine, covering this live. Very excited to continue tracking this. Make sure you know what's going on here. But for now, back to you, Megan.
All right, thank you, James. So now let's introduce you to more of our correspondents along the path, starting first with NASA's Lauren Ward, standing by to show us what's happening in Indianapolis, Indiana.
That's right. Thanks, Megan. We are at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is a gorgeous day. Behind me, I have over 50,000 people here to spectate today. Today, we are waiting for a spectacle that is of a celestial kind. Of course, this is most known for the Indy 500, but we are waiting for something a little bit special today. With me, I have the 2016 Indianapolis Motor Speedway winner, Alexander Rossi. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you. So the Helio Big Year is a celebration of sun science and how the sun touches everything, including IMS. So tell me, the track when you're doing a qualifying round is about 4 minutes long, which coincidentally is the length of totality. So tell us, what is it like being on the track?
You know what? The sun plays a huge role in determining the performance of the car based on the track conditions. So we actually, when it's a day like this, as much as it's beautiful for the fans, it's actually very difficult for us as drivers, because as the surface heats up, the oils come to the top of the asphalt and it actually becomes slippier. So that's surprising to people. They think that temperature would mean grip, but it is until a certain point. And then once it kind of crosses over 100 degrees on the surface, you start to actually go the other way.
Wow. And tell me about those tires. How does the sun affect those?
So we use slick tires. So Firestone tires are slick. On a road car, you have tread, right? Because they're supposed to be used in all conditions. Slick tires actually have a bigger contact patch, more surface area, so they generate more grip at a temperature, right? So they operate between 180 to 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, the sun is good until a point. When they go over that 230 degree mark, you start to lose that grip again.
Ooh, all right. Well, we have a little competition going on today. We're trying to determine whose big day is it. Is it the sun's, the moon's, or the Earth? So my question to you is, are you Team Sun, Team Moon, or Team Earth?
That's a hard one, but I'm going to go Team Earth. You know, I just think we're so lucky, especially today with the people that are around us here, to be able to witness what we're about to see. Go Earth.
Go Earth. You heard it here first. All right, guys, thanks. We'll be back here. Daryl in Niagara, over to you.
getting to totality. This is great. So you're starting to see those pink fingers out there kind of sticking out.
Wow. So again, totality here in Mazatlan, Mexico, the first community in North America to experience the moon completely eclipsing the sun. And if you are in Mazatlan right now, it is now safe to remove your eclipse glasses for the next 4 minutes. And you mentioned some of those pink filaments that we're seeing, right? Can you talk us a little bit through that, Kelly?
Yeah, so those pink filaments, because they're helium rich, that's why they're appearing pink and they're hanging out there. Those could be the start of space weather. So there are lots of tons of material, billions of tons of material that could possibly be one of those explosions for space weather, the reasons why we really study the sun and try to understand how to live with the sun.
Well, can you explain why space weather is important to us here on Earth?
Definitely. So it's not just satellites that are interested in space weather. It's also our power grids because of those energetic particles coming from those big explosions that can happen in the sun. That could damage our power grids. It could also do things like interfere with GPS signals. And I know we all use our phones to navigate everywhere. So if we didn't have that, that would be a big problem. So we're looking to understand it better so we can all mitigate all those things.
Some of the movement we're seeing here is just our telescope operator adjusting because, again, they needed to make some changes for before totality. Now they're viewing it a different way, and then after totality, we might see some shakes there as well. But I really just cannot believe how crisp it is. As we said, it's not a marble, but I mean, just the view of it is so crisp with these little, again, those filaments are just amazing that we can see that to such accuracy, you know?
Right, definitely. And also the white fuzz. I mean, you're seeing something that's 1,000,000 degrees just hanging out all around the sun. And, you know, 3 billion Earths can fit inside of there. So there's a lot of atmosphere there, all around there, just hanging out, being very warm. And so, one of our mysteries is, and one of the B-57s are addressing.
There you go, WB-57, our pilot.
Yeah.
He's flying. So basically, Kelly, he is going to fly and try to chase down the shadow for as long as possible, keep up with it as long as possible.
Exactly. The shadow is much faster than the plane. However, they can chase it for a while and get an extra 2 minutes. So on the ground, we can only get 4.5 minutes, and they're going to get 6.5 for that plane.
I love that they're waving to us. Oh, there you go. And now we're flipped. Now we're seeing the front. So again, they are in night. I mean, it looks very dark with only some light in the horizon, yeah?
Right, yeah, and that's what we'll expect wherever we see totality is the night sky is very dark. You might even see some planets or stars, and then you'll see like twilight all around in 360 degrees.
What an amazing vantage point as well. My gosh. I'm very jealous. Kelly, are you jealous? I kind of feel like you're jealous.
I'm kind of a little jealous. Yeah, I kind of want to, see if I can make a faster plane so we can, follow it the whole way.
Plus, they're up above the clouds, so they don't have to worry
about the clouds. Exactly.
Well, I do want to say a big thank you to the WB-57 pilots and the whole team supporting them for that great view. That was awesome. Kelly, you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the sun. And for those watching, if you're interested in learning more with her, check out her and other experts featured in the Sun series of NASA's Curious Universe podcast. And that QR code will pop up on the screen, and that'll take you straight to the episodes. Again, look at that double box we got there. We're showing you amazing views during this broadcast. A big thank you, actually, to the Solar System Exploration Research Virtual Institute, or SERVI, for providing the telescope views from Mazatlan.
Yeah, the SERVI team down there, the SERVI team is based out of Ames, but it is a collection of teams across the country and across the world that are sort of studying the intersection of science and exploration, helping us get ready for our next trip with humans to the moon.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, totality is actually about to end in Mazatlan. Let's keep watching our screen right now for, again, what are we watching for, Kelly?
We're watching for the diamond ring effect. So that's when the first bright light, we're starting to see it on the side there. So you're going to put your glasses on right now to protect those beautiful eyes because now we're going back to the partial phase.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Wow.
Yep.
Kelly, that's a filter, by the way, everyone. That's why we're seeing that. But when you said put on your glasses, I'm so trained now to do it that I almost did it here in Cleveland. No, we're fine in Cleveland. We're still in Mazatlan. Again, what we're seeing is because we needed to adjust the filter. Now that, again, it's basically like putting on our glasses. The way that you said people on the ground need to put on our glasses, our telescope operators need to protect their own eyes as well as their equipment.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. I really appreciate your time here with us. It was so fun to learn about the science and actually see the first eclipse come for North America here. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, as you can see, there's a lot to learn about our sun and eclipses. So to explain it all in a really fun way for kids, NASA developed a clever game called Snap It. We have another QR code coming on your screen right now. Just scan that code, or if you're watching us on your phone, all you have to do is screen grab it, press on it later, and you can check out that game. Also the website, if that's easier for you, go.nasa.gov/snapit. Okay, so NASA can predict the total solar eclipse's path to a high degree of accuracy because of a spacecraft that launched nearly 15 years ago. This same spacecraft is now helping our Artemis II astronauts who'll be orbiting the moon next year. NASA's next step in establishing a long-term presence on the moon is sending 4 astronauts to fly around it.
What a
And
spectacular.
it's going into totality.
Wow. There you have it. We are in.
Yep, that diamond ring came through, and we see a little bit of those Bailey beads too as we're looking at it. Those kind of the lights trickling through around the surface of the moon, coming through the peaks and valleys.
So what are we viewing on the left-hand side? This this almost pink color effect.
Right, and so as we just heard from the last totality, you know, these pink fingers are popping out a little bit, and those are those solar prominences. They're appearing pink because of the helium rich, but we can see it. Let's focus on the corona here, that glow that we're getting, and we can see basically these streams that are coming out, a lot of that energy and brightness that we do not have the ability to see on a day-to-day basis. So with this total eclipse, we're able to see that corona nice and bright coming through in Torion.
That is just a magical view. Oh my goodness,
It
Gina.
is.
Gina, okay, and so we've got so many questions coming in online right now from viewers watching this. Our first one is going to be from Justin, who wants to know, right now we are seeing a pretty clear and spectacular view of a total solar eclipse.
Yes.
But Justin wants to know, what will it look like if it's clouded over?
Right, so the view that we're getting right now, you won't be able to see that if it's clouded over, but you will have effects going on, right? You'll get a change in the temperature, so the temperature will drop. It'll still get darker as well.
It's already getting dark here in Kerrville.
I mean, we have some cloud coverage, right?
Yeah.
And we're feeling a little extra wind. It's noticeably darker despite the clouds that we have, so you'll get some of those environmental effects, even if it's cloudy where you are.
And so a great follow-up, we've got Halloween Ghoul on YouTube who wants to know, again, will the temperature change during totality, which I know you mentioned that it will get a little bit cooler.
Yes.
But do you know about how many degrees we can expect?
Yeah, it depends on the location, the humidity, multiple factors, but it can change by about 10 degrees or so, depending where you are, maybe even a little bit more than that. And, we're feeling a little chilly kind of where we're sitting compared to what it was earlier. And I mean, I'm just staring at this view of totality that we have in Torion.
So we're about halfway through totality right now in Torion, Mexico. And again, I know folks said that this is almost double totality than 2017, right?
That's right. And so in 2017, we had a little more than 2 minutes. So we're lucky enough this time that we have over 4 minutes in some places too.
This is so beautiful. And so our next question from Sibel on Instagram wants to know, why is the sun more active right now?
So the sun is more active because we have an 11-year solar cycle. The sun goes from solar maximum to solar minimum, where it's changing its level of activity. Oh, and as you're seeing the screen, yeah, so I see in the bottom right there, we can see that prominence extending out. And as we heard earlier in Mazatlan, that is potentially the beginning of space weather activity. So we're talking about solar maximum. If there's a time to see any of that space weather activity during the total solar eclipse, this is the time to do it. So let's watch that as we go through totality in our other locations too, and maybe we'll be lucky to see some of
partial eclipse. It's actually very important. It is of concern for astronauts who are in space because they experience the radiation of the sun that comes from solar flares and solar weather. But the reality is it's also affecting life here on Earth. It impacts the upper reaches of our atmosphere called the ionosphere, which is an electrified part of our atmosphere that is a conduit for communications. It's critically important. It can even affect power grids. And of course, if you ever have seen the Northern Lights, you've seen the effect of solar weather. But really the focus for today is where that solar weather starts, and that's in the corona, the sun's atmosphere. It's very unusual, and we don't exactly know what's happening because the sun's atmosphere is millions of degrees hotter than the surface of the sun. So we are hoping to learn today more about how that happens and why that happens so that we can better predict those solar flares and those things that impact us here on Earth.
Yeah, that's all extremely important and something that we're learning a lot today too. Pam, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
As we've learned, solar eclipses are very important to learn for many, many reasons. We have radio telescope operators who are studying the eclipse today for this very reason. Let's take a look at that work.
When the moon blocks the sun during a solar eclipse, there is a noticeable impact on Earth's upper atmosphere, known as the ionosphere. These changes can affect radio communications, including amateur radio, also known as ham radio.
Ham radio is a way you can talk to people all around the world. You set up a radio and antenna. You talk into the radio sends a signal up to the antenna sends a signal up to the sky. It bounces off of the electrified layer of the sky back down to Earth where you can talk to the person on the other side.
During the 2024 total solar eclipse, the HamSci Citizen Science Project is inviting ham radio operators to transmit radio signals. The goal is to have people make as many radio contacts as they can with operators in different locations during the celestial event. By recording how strong their radio signals are and how far they go, ham radio operators and scientists can learn about how the ionosphere changes during solar eclipses.
Sometimes you can talk around the world and sometimes you can't. And that's all based on what the ionosphere is doing, what the sun is doing. When it works and you are able to talk to these faraway places, I find that really magical.
To learn how you can participate, follow Do NASA Science on X and Facebook.
And we are minutes away from the total solar eclipse over Kerrville, Texas. The temperature is dropping. As you can see, I have to throw on a jacket. The sky is dimming. We're on the edge of our seats, and we are joined now with astronaut and commander of the Artemis II mission to the moon, Reed Wiseman. Reed, it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you. The crowd noise, the fact that the sun is behind the clouds most of the time and peeking out, it's so wonderful.
I know.
Thanks for being here, Reed.
As you can hear, we are ready.
We are right there.
So exciting. So tell us, Reed, obviously everybody is excited, but have you seen a total solar eclipse before?
Never a total, so I will share this darkness with you and this whole crowd the first time.
Oh my
wow,
gosh,
this is incredible.
That's
so
great.
too, what considerations do you and your fellow Artemis astronauts need to think about when related to the sun when traveling back to the moon?
Well, it's great to see Pam Melroy on your last clip, a dear friend of mine, so it was nice to see Pam's face over there. But when we're heading out to the sun, it's really radiation is our big thing that as we're heading out to the moon.
Yeah.
It's really the solar
sun.
radiation that we're most thinking about there as the danger from the sun, and the Apollo astronauts dealt with it, and we've dealt with it for a long time on the International Space Station, and we have a lot of data from the moon, from our NASA probes that have gone out there and collected, so we think we know what we'll encounter.
Great, okay. And tell me, Reed, how does it feel to be the commander of NASA's first crewed mission going back to the moon since Apollo?
I'm flying with Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen, the three best.
Dream team, yes.
I know, know, so every day that I go into work, I won't say every day is easy, but every day is fun, and I'm flying with people that have principles, they have integrity, and they have just so much knowledge and professionalism. It's a dream come true. And getting to work with the whole team, the international team, it's the best.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, Reed. You know, really quickly, do you have any advice for anybody that might want to follow in your footsteps one day?
We always say that you have to find that job that you love, go all in on it, live your best life, be as good of a professional as you can, and someday apply for the program. And we look forward to seeing your application come across our desk.
Thank you, Reed, and good luck on your upcoming mission.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Now, if anybody feels like reaching for the stars, NASA is actually currently accepting applications to be an astronaut. You could one day travel to the moon and eventually to Mars. From teachers to scientists to even those in our armed forces, we are looking for a diverse group to take humanity farther into the cosmos. You can apply now through April 16th. Under 2 minutes actually, away from totality here in Kerrville, Texas, which will mark the start of our eclipse coverage across America. Now, folks, we have a little bit of cloud coverage right now in Kerrville, so we are showing the Dallas feed. But again, we're holding out hope. Gina and I are thrilled to be here with Dr. Nicola Fox, who is the Associate Administrator of NASA's Science Mission Directorate. Nikki, thank you for being here.
Oh, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Thanks for being here, Nikki. So tell us how the science conducted today will really impact the future of exploration at NASA Science.
Oh, wow, there's so much that we're going to be doing today. We're going to be studying the sun. We're going to be studying the Earth's atmosphere and how that changes. You can see it getting dark here. And, you know, we've got these little magnetometers. They're going to be all across. We have 30 of them all the way across. I'm going to hold it up.
Very nice. Love magnetometers.
Magnetometers, and we're gonna be having these all the way across the path of totality. And it sounds like we should go.
We should get up.
All right, let's go.
Oh my goodness.
Less than a minute. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, glasses on, Nikki? Yes?
Yeah,
or
glasses
no?
on, but we're about to get yeah.
There's some cloud
there's
coverage.
some cloud coverage.
It's trying to peek out,
It is trying. It is trying. It is trying. It is
Windy,
getting
for
dark
sure.
here. The wind's picked up. You could actually see the birds started flying in a very weird pattern a minute ago.
Good point.
Come on, clouds.
Everyone's screaming.
Yes.
You know, I might have to switch to Team Sun.
Come on. Oh my goodness. We're there. We're nearly there. Okay.
There you go.
Wow, the crowd is counting down.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
And the corona. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That is amazing. I told you. No, go away, clouds. Go away, clouds.
They're
Look
gonna
at
move.
that. Oh my goodness. I have been saying all day. Look how dark. Look how dark it is around here. Yeah.
It is just this white ring.
A white ring.
Yeah. It's so dark.
It is so dark. It is
You
so
can see
dark
the planes
here.
and the sky much better.
Wow.
You can.
Everybody
We have
just
planes and helicopters and drones.
The whole
all over
crowd
the place
is
today.
just
look
Here
at
we
the
go.
clouds are gonna clear
Look
for
at
us.
that. Yes. Yes. Woo! Woo!
Oh my
Look at that. Just
It's
look
amazing.
at that. That is
And we have
incredible.
about, what, 4 minutes
Oh, yeah.
to
4
just
minutes
bask.
and 25 seconds.
To be
Yes.
I mean, this really,
Yes.
again, reminds you that we are on this one planet, you know,
Yes.
in this larger system.
And you have to be on this planet to see what we're seeing.
You do.
right now.
That's why we are Team Sun, Earth, and Moon. Because you need the moon for an eclipse. You need the sun for an eclipse. And we're
Right.
standing on the Earth to see it.
Oh, man.
So, all of
Amazing.
NASA science represented by a total solar eclipse.
And something that, what, over 30 million of us today, at least in
at
the
least,
path of totality.
At least, yes.
Able to witness this.
I don't know
31
about
people
you,
living in the path of totality. So
Doesn't
imagine
count
how
who
many people
travels.
actually traveled here. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This
Wow.
is getting me extra excited about all the science that
All the science that we're doing.
right?
Yes. Yes.
All right, those clouds are playing tricks
Those
on us
clouds
now.
are being pretty mean. Yes.
It was nice to get a taste, though.
It's
Wow.
true.
It is
Yes.
so dark.
It is.
We've got everybody
it is
looking
so
up.
dark.
I'm so happy that, you
Yes.
know, for folks that travel,
Yes.
able to see this take place.
That's right.
And it's been such a great atmosphere here all day. Every time the sun comes out, everybody
Everyone's
cheers.
cheering,
Yeah.
counting down. It has been incredible. And so, wow.
That's true.
Oh, Nikki, what's your favorite part about about an eclipse? Is this your first?
No, this is my second one. 2017. I was in Nebraska and I saw it there. But I think there's just you can study the sun, you can study the corona, but suddenly you see it with your own eyes, and it's that feeling of just wow, that is our star. Like that isn't just the sun anymore. That's a star, and you see it looking like a star. And you know, as we study. You know, as we look for exoplanets in other galaxies that might be able to support life, you know, we need to understand our relationship here on this. It's so important, and I think when you see it, you're just like, wow, it actually is a star. Yeah, you know, it's not just a bright point of light in the sky. You can see the structure, you can see just how exciting the sun is, and actually how dynamic it is.
Yeah. And you know, it's not often in heliophysics that we can actually see the science that we're doing with our own eyes.
That is right.
So it's
That
a
is
rare
right.
experience.
Or even sharing it, you know? Millions of
have
us
so
today.
many people partake.
Yep.
That's right. It's pretty windy too here.
It is windy. And so I know earlier in the show we've mentioned that total solar eclipses really might only pass through a certain location, say every 75 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you explain how come we don't see eclipses like this every day?
month?
Yeah. Every month.
Because the moon's orbit is actually tilted, and so most of the time when it passes in front, it doesn't block out the light for us. At this particular time, it is right on the plane between the Earth and the Sun. It is actually at its closest point to the Earth, and so in the plane of the sky, the moon is exactly the same size as the sun, and that is very unique.
That is so special, too.
Yes.
I mean, like, what are the odds?
It's the 400s, right? It's
Yes.
The distance between the Earth and the Moon is 400 times closer than the Earth and the Sun, and the size is 400 times smaller as well. So it just blocks it perfectly.
Yep. It does, and right now the clouds are blocking it perfectly.
Hey, but we got a taste of it, which was very nice, and we are chasing this eclipse across North America today.
We are.
So excited
Yeah,
to
we
see
are.
it from these
I
other
think it
locations
wants to come
too.
out again. I don't know. These clouds are thinning.
Yeah, the clouds.
You can hear the crowds cheering.
Getting excited.
We're hopeful.
Yeah.
Channeling all that good energy.
Yeah. This crowd has been great all day.
Oh, yes.
All day.
It's crazy to believe, too, that it was so dark and it's only like midday.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
Wow, and we're starting to get some of this.
Starting to get the light back.
Yeah, starting to get the light back.
Yep. So unfortunately, we did not see the diamond ring at the end of the eclipse because of the clouds, which is always a crowd pleaser. But we did see it actually
saw it in the
right
beginning.
before totality. There was suddenly this beautiful bright one light, and then it all went dark. So we did actually see quite a few great features on the sun, and somebody actually was saying they could see a sunspot. obviously through their glasses, but they could see a sunspot. So, yeah.
So can you clarify what the sunspots are for our viewers?
Yes, absolutely. So if you were looking through your glasses, you might have seen a couple of dark spots on the sun. They are actually very intense places. There's very, very intense magnetic field there. They're very active, and that is what can cause space weather. So every now and again, those active regions can sort of explode and then send billions of tons of solar material towards our planet.
Wow. Well, this was fantastic. Thank you so much, Nikki. This was incredible to experience this with you. Let's follow this eclipse right up that path. Next up is Dallas. We have Joy and Michael standing by for their big moment in the sun.
Yeah, you can feel the temperature change. The wind has completely quieted down. Yep.
So the energy here is amazing. So with me right now is Dr. Michael Kirk. He's one of our eclipse experts. Michael, we saw an annular eclipse back in October, but today is a total eclipse. How are you feeling today?
It is totally different. I am ecstatic. The annular eclipse was really cool. This is, you can feel it, the energy here is electric.
If you look around, you can see that the darkness is coming. Let's have a quick look at what we're looking at right now. We're almost there. We're a couple of minutes away.
Ooh, yep. Just a crescent left.
So let's quickly talk about some of the ways that the public are participating in the eclipse right now.
Yes.
Michael, can you talk about some of the citizen science projects?
Yes, there are people all around the country right now making measurements of audio recordings to see how the environment is changing. And it is a great opportunity to do genuine science with just an audio recorder.
Fantastic. So we are almost like, let's see, a few minutes away. So minute 30 out, I think, actually.
Okay.
So let's have a look at the eclipse. Michael, what should we expect to see moments before totality?
Okay, so as we approach totality, you're going to see that crescent sun slowly drift away, and then you're going to see the Baily's beads, where they're these bright points of light that are last bits of sunlight cascading through the moon valleys, and then right before totality, you'll see a diamond ring, that last single point of light, and then we'll be in totality. We just have a thumbnail of sun left. We are closing in on totality here.
Wow, we see a slither of the sun left. Remember, you can only take your safety glasses off when the moon has completely covered the sun. And in Dallas, Texas, we are seconds away.
Oh my goodness, I can feel my heart racing. You can hear the crowd getting excited. The birds are chirping and they seem like they're going into their nighttime routines.
Wow. So we are a few seconds away. You can hear the crowds cheering.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely ecstatic.
The darkness is coming over Dallas.
Here we are. Just a few seconds
10
left.
10 seconds.
Woo! Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay, we are 5 seconds away from totality.
One little bit. It's totally dark here. Deep twilight around here.
Wow. You can hear the crowds.
Here's the last bit of lights, and we're in totality. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That is absolutely breathtaking.
Oh my God, Michael. How are you feeling right now?
I am just awestruck. I mean, there's a few high clouds, but the beauty of the corona is clearly visible. You can see that spiky structure just poking out. It is heart-stoppingly beautiful.
Oh my goodness, I have tears in my eyes. I was not expecting this.
This is one of those experiences that you just never forget. I feel so special to be right here, right now, experiencing it, and knowing that people literally across the nation are doing the same thing it's truly amazing.
Wow, let's take a moment to take it all in. This is absolutely breathtaking.
Wow. You can see that spiky structure of the corona. That's indicative of our approach to solar maximum. That asymmetrical nature of the corona happens when we're in solar maximum, and that's going to be happening in about a few months from now. So that means that this view of the corona will never happen again, ever. This is a completely unique view that even if you see a million solar eclipses, you'll never quite see one like this.
So, Michael, you study the sun. What is it like to see the corona that you don't normally see?
I mean, I just, there are no words. I spend my life studying this thing, and to be able to see it and feel it is, I mean, it's just tremendous. You can see a prominence in the chromosphere, the middle atmosphere of the sun is a pink spot. And that pink loop is what I spent 5 years doing a dissertation on. that one little pink loop. And it's just, it makes it all feel like it's in perspective now.
I can't believe how clearly I can see those pink loops and the structures in the corona.
We can see a few planets out as well. They're brightly shining.
But let's just cherish these last few moments of totality in Dallas, Texas. Michael, what will happen right before totality ends?
So as totality's ending, we'll go through the process in reverse. You'll see maybe a diamond ring, a few Bailey's beads as the sun creeps out of totality. And then we're going to go back into a crescent sun again. Okay, and there's a diamond ring again. So it's time to put your glasses back on.
Sunglasses back, sorry, eclipse glasses back on.
And it's coming back again.
Wow, the slither of the sun.
And you can see shadow bands on the ground right now. It looks like it's almost raining, or you can see those shadow bands racing across the ground as we come back in out of totality.
Wow. Whew. Oh my goodness, Michael, that was amazing. I was not expecting to feel so emotional. I still have tears in my eyes.
I mean, it just grabs you. I mean, it is unlike anything else. It's as amazing as seeing anything in the natural universe. Yeah, like I said, there are no words.
Michael, thank you so much for being with us in this very, very, very special moment.
I feel honored to be here. We truly are in a special place in the entire universe right here, and I'm just so happy to share it with you.
So now let's head back to James at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, who's with the eclipse moon. He's tracking the shadow moving across the US. James, how are things looking on your end?
Yeah, wow, Joy and Michael, really cool view there. It's insane to see just how dark it gets. It's literally like nighttime there. You can hear the birds chirping in that shot as well in the gardens. Absolutely beautiful. We got a bunch coming up in just a few moments here. Our next eclipse path target here for the NASA broadcast is in Russellville, Arkansas. They're going to have a long window too, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. They're expecting that totality kickoff at 1:50:05 to be exact. Again, you can continue to track this with our eclipse tool here. This is at go.nasa.gov/eclipse explorer. And you can see just how quickly it's moving. I'm playing this in real time. You can see that shadow is already moving very quickly to the northeast. And the fun isn't just for our friends on the path of totality, and there are a lot of people on that path of totality. About 31 million people reside somewhere on that path of totality. But there's a lot of people obviously outside of that path as well too. If I put on this overlay here for the percent coverage, a lot of folks, us included here in Florida, are experiencing that partial eclipse. As always, if you are in a partial eclipse, be sure to be wearing those eclipse glasses to protect your eyesight as you're viewing it. But you can see these bands here are greater than 75% view. So say you're watching up in, I don't know, Milwaukee here, for example. You've got a great view, almost 100% coverage. You're not quite at totality. 89.4%. Looks like you got good cloud cover there. 20% cloud cover. So hopefully you got a nice view up there as well, too. I've also put on this overlay here to show you just the amount of the duration of totality. You see, a lot of our places are within this middle band right here that are getting more than 4 minutes. It may seem like a lot of time, but as you've seen, just how quickly that can go by. Michael sounds like he wrote his whole dissertation, a 5-year piece, on those just few moments there. This just passes so quickly, and again, if you miss this, the next time you're gonna have to wait for this in the US is not gonna be until 2045. So again, make sure you're previewing exactly when to expect that peak time of coverage wherever you are in our path of totality or even outside of that path of totality. So
probe back when I was a graduate student in around 2002 or so. And back then, the idea was for it to actually dive into the sun rather than orbit the sun. So it was going to be a sun dive.
Wow, that is fabulous. This must be a very full circle moment for you, right, Patrick?
This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. And that diamond ring has been persistent. Wait a minute.
New York City's cool because you can't really surprise anyone.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn, live in Times Square where the moon is about to pass over the sun and create a partial shadow right here over the city that never sleeps. So many people are out here lining up for this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Practiced 12 hours for it last night when it was dark.
Would you practice?
Being in the dark.
It'll be interesting to see what this place looks like with a half shadow over it. It's supposed to get pretty dark out here. You can see the characters getting ready. Everyone's getting ready. We'll show you guys what the scene looks like in the next hour, but for now, follow Daily Mail for updates.
City's cool because you can't really surprise anyone.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn, live in Times Square where the moon is about to pass over the sun and create a partial shadow right here over the city that never sleeps. So many people are out here lining up for this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Practiced 12 hours for it last night when it was dark.
Would you practice?
Being in the dark.
It'll be interesting to see what this place looks like with a half shadow over it. It's supposed to get pretty dark out here. You can see the characters getting ready. Everyone's getting ready. We'll show you guys what the scene looks like in the next hour, but for now, follow Daily Mail for updates.
actually visualize the corona. I've always wanted to see that.
Wow. Look at that. Fantastic.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely
An incredible sight.
amazing.
And dark.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at how dark it is. Oh my gosh.
And you can really see those streamers coming out right now. I'm seeing some bright lights around where we're seeing cratering, and I can see those streamers coming out of the corona.
And are those Bailey's beads? Are we seeing any Bailey's beads?
We were seeing some Bailey's beads. They're transitioning out a little bit, but yes, those bright light where the sunlight is shining through craters on the moon, mountains and craters. And look at those streamers of the corona. It is putting on a show.
Moly.
And it is dark.
Holy moly.
It is dark.
I gotta take a peek.
Everyone's got their phone out. It is now safe to look at the eclipse without your glasses.
Wow.
What an amazing sight. Folks, we've got 4 minutes here, a little under 4 minutes to enjoy this.
Wow.
And if you were in an open field right now, you'd be able to see a sunset, a 360-degree sunset all around us.
Yes,
and you
I
can see a little bit of
You
that
can
now.
see the light around us a little bit. I have to say, this is my first total eclipse, Denise.
This is my first total.
Incredible to see it.
Totality.
Wow.
This is a bucket list moment for me.
This is incredible. Really a once in a lifetime, unless you're an eclipse chaser, which I'm considering it.
I might become one after this.
I quit my job.
Yeah. Wow,
Oh my
fantastic. Oh
we
my
spent
gosh.
so long trying to see that corona, and to see it with my eyes.
Your own eyes. Wow, just gorgeous.
I'm just in awe of being this person on this rock moving around the sun. I can't even believe it right now.
Yeah, and to share this moment together with 50, 60,000 people all looking up at the moon and the sun all at once. It's just an incredible experience. For all the folks here in Indy and for all the folks watching, I hope you can take, the amazing energy and excitement from this crowd. What a special moment for the United States.
Oh my gosh, do you hear that? Look at this and everybody.
Oh, there we
my
go, the
goodness.
crowds. Wow. Okay, so I think we're seeing, those beautiful prominences.
The corona is just putting on such a show right now. It's got my full attention.
Wow.
That's all I can watch.
Holy cow. We've got some very appropriate music going on in the background here.
This is the best version of getting mooned that I have ever experienced in my life.
Don't strain your eyes.
Oh, wow. I am just in awe. There just aren't the right words to describe this.
I'm just noticing it feels so strange to me right now. Like I feel the hair on my arm standing up. I feel like it's nighttime and what am I doing? And it was daytime.
And actually, folks, we're starting to get some nighttime insects coming out.
Yes, we're starting to see bugs.
Yeah, we are seeing bugs in light. It's hard to hear them over the crowd, but I can definitely see them flying.
Yes, I think the animals are a little bit confused. Nikki, while I have you, we've got a lot of programs at NASA looking at the sun. No eclipse glasses required. As the Associate Director of Flight Programs, tell me, what can we expect NASA to be sending to the sun in the next few years?
We are so lucky in the midst of this incredible time of solar max. We're getting ready to.
I'm
seeing a diamond ring right now.
The diamond ring. Take a look. Take a look. Put your glasses back on. Be safe. That is the diamond ring, folks. Wow, spectacular. Oh my gosh. You can even hear fireworks in the distance.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, and the light is already starting to change.
It really is.
You can.
Wow.
And the crowds are loving it.
Hear the crowd just loving every second of it.
Oh, what a moment. I love those fireworks. Indianapolis is really pulling out all of the stops, and we love them for it. I also want to take a moment here to thank our 2 telescope operators, John and Dana, who have been providing these telescope views for us there from Ball State University. Thank you very much to John and Dana. All right.
It's like somebody flipped the lights back on.
It's like a sudden switch flip.
This is so great.
And I can feel it warming up already.
Yes.
Wow.
This is so amazing.
Incredible. Well, this is an incredible moment, and an incredible moment for the Helio Big Year. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fantastic.
Thank you for having me and sharing this.
I'm so excited to be here and to see this incredible sight.
Absolutely. Megan and Sarah, back to you.
Oh, that was so fun to experience, and I can't wait for us to do it now. Take a look at this drone shot where you can see it definitely got noticeably darker. We feel it here. It's colder. The crowd is cheering now. They're ready for totality here in Cleveland, Ohio. We are less than 3 minutes away, 2 minutes and 18 seconds away from totality here in Cleveland, Ohio. The crowd over here to our right going crazy, feeling the excitement. I'm ready for this. How are you?
Yeah, it's super cool. It's all of a sudden it's really getting dark and you're starting to feel it.
Yeah,
super cool.
It's like they just dimmed it out. Now it's like night. This happened within the last couple of seconds. But let's take a look around, because obviously we're not the only ones enjoying the total solar eclipse today. We have some we have some eclipse viewing events that we've seen around the country. So why don't we take a look at some of those? Wow! Oh my gosh! So this is Times Square. That's the NASDAQ tower, and they are taking our feed live right now, and we're seeing Cleveland, Ohio sun.
They're only going to get a partial eclipse today, but they get to watch our eclipse with us. So.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they can do that. Wow, look, that sliver of a crescent just left. It's actually perfect on that building.
It's beautiful.
The shape of that building, right? And we can see some people in the foreground taking a look, stopping to watch. It's hard to stop in Times Square, right? But they're stopping to take a look at this with us.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So this is just next to us. This is Progressive Field here in Cleveland, Ohio. So the Guardians have their opening day today, and the first pitch is like after 5 o'clock. But as you can see, they've opened up the stadium, and people are in. Noticeably colder.
Degrees. It's like, yes.
Yes. Looking around to the crowd, a lot of people videotaping it, trying to take photos.
The lovely backdrop of the Cleveland skyline.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We have the stadium right next to us, oh my gosh. And again, thanking the Great Lakes Science Center and NASA for hosting this event here in downtown Cleveland, Ohio.
It's great to like sort of join humanity to all come together at once and experience this together with such a great
Oh,
group
look at the
of
screen
folks.
right now. Here's a shot of the skyline.
Oh,
wow, the
wow.
sky looks on fire. Beautiful. A lot of excitement still here in the crowd. Sarah's just taking it all in. Sarah, you're supposed to be commentating. You're supposed to be saying.
It's so beautiful.
So you can tell that we have some cloud cover, right? It's kind of hazy here, but still.
It is, yeah, some high clouds. I was worried about it, but like we can still really see, have a pretty good view here.
Wow. And again, this is so rare for people here in Cleveland to see a total solar eclipse. The last time was 1806.
Yes.
The next time, guys, 2444. That is incredible.
I hope everybody took the time to come outside and witness this today.
Oh my gosh, you can still see that prominence. Again, talk to us about what a
it's so
prominence
beautiful.
is.
Yeah, so that pink color comes from the helium in the sort of outer atmosphere of the sun there. Oh, it's beautiful.
And it gives off that pink glow.
Yeah.
Wow. Totality
here
ending
comes-
here.
here comes
Whoa,
that-
there's the diamond ring. Oh!
Time to get your glasses back out.
Time to put your glasses back on, everyone. That's your cue. Glasses back
cue.
on.
We get
Wow.
that diamond ring.
Wow.
Beautiful.
What an amazing experience. My first total solar eclipse.
Yes.
Let's see what they think about this in Niagara with Daryl Nail.
Over the entire area. You can hear the crowd erupting at various moments when the eclipse has been seen, but we are under pretty cloudy conditions, and David Sheeny is with us. He's a program executive with the Heliophysics Division. David, this is a challenging situation to be in order to try to see this eclipse. We've seen glimpses.
We have seen glimpses, so we're basically spending our time staring at the sky, hoping for a little bit of a glimpse of what would be a totality. So right now, the sky has just completely gone dark. You see all the lights, basically, everybody's cameras and everything else are all making it lighter. And it's gotten significantly colder as well, just over the last several minutes.
And it's like, it's fascinating to see it go night like this. We've been listening to everybody across the country enjoying totality and seeing it clear. That's not the experience we're having here. In fact, it's so cloudy that our telescope operator, Jessica Bellina, who's working very hard to try to get a lock on it, has not been able to get that telescope feed dialed in because she has to have a view of the sun in order to see it. So we don't have a feed for you from Niagara. What we have is just every once in a while you'll hear part of the crowd, only part of the crowd will cheer because I guess they kind of have an angle through the clouds to see just a little bit.
Yeah, and the clouds have really only cleared out enough occasionally to even need eclipse glasses. So for the most part, you have a thick enough layer of clouds that you can see the eclipse without them, and it's just fine. So a lot of us have been able to just take regular pictures with our cameras.
Let's take a look and just kind of enjoy the moment of darkness that we're in now. People have come from all over the world to be
you
here.
can see some. It looks like it's a little bit lighter up there. Our spotlights are blinding these guys. Can we turn the spotlights down? So there, oh look, you got a little bit of eclipse right there with people watching. So we're just catching little glimpses of things as we look up into the sky. So this might not be as exciting as some, but this is what we get. We're just hoping to have a little bit of a glimpse.
Well, we've got 3 minutes and 29 seconds for it to happen. We're already a minute or so in.
Right.
We heard there's going to be skydivers that are going to jump out. Probably hard to see them.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever get to see the skydivers. You can't see any of Niagara Falls really. It's basically all like as if it was night for us here. You can start to see some of the light come in from the other side.
So we're taking now a view of Tupper Lake. New York. That's
oh, look, there he goes.
Oh, hey,
There he goes.
got a
Totality
shot.
right there. We're getting totality right now that we can
There
see.
it is.
We just got a really nice clear spot right there. So
wow.
Got a little bit of hole through the clouds so everybody could see.
Just opened up. And now that was the roar from the crowd that you just heard, and just as soon as it showed.
So yeah, we're continuing to watch the totality that we're getting right now. You can see a little bit of hint on the side as it's shining through.
Down there, it ducked down.
Yep.
Jessica,
so here we go. We have another view, a little bit, another little view right here.
New York City's cool because you can't really surprise anyone.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn, live in Times Square, where the moon is about to pass over the sun and create a partial shadow right here over the city that never sleeps. So many people are out here lining up for this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Practiced 12 hours for it last night when it was dark.
Would you practice?
Being in the dark.
It'll be interesting to see what this place looks like with a half shadow over it. It's supposed to get pretty dark out here. You can see the characters getting ready. Everyone's getting ready. We'll show you guys what the scene looks like in the next hour, but for now, follow Daily Mail for updates.
You can see just a little like ring.
Yeah. And people have not moved. They are still looking up, enjoying the partial eclipse now. We're going to bring in Jeremy Hansen. He is a Canadian Space Agency astronaut who has been at the falls with us for the past few days. And Jeremy, you're going to be on Artemis 2, of course, the mission. We'll talk a little bit about that.
I'm going to be looking over your shoulder here, Daryl.
Hey, make sure you put on your glasses.
Well, we're still pretty safe. We got a lot of cloud cover, but
That's true.
That was actually, I think, exceeded expectations.
Well, I mean, when your expectations start off with just clouds everywhere,
yeah.
And I didn't think we were going to get anything. How did you feel when it finally poked through?
I felt like success because we all really wanted to see it in totality, and we might have only saw it for 5 seconds, but we did get to see it, and we could see the corona, and that was just very special for me. So I really like that. And then when it passed totality, it was like this amazing. Hopefully the camera captured it, but just like that amazing sunrise was coming across the clouds. Actually, the clouds kind of made a nice backdrop for it, so that was pretty special.
That was very unique, very special. I'm so glad and a little relieved that we got to see a little bit of it. That was the moon passing in front of the sun. You're going around the moon in September of 2025, currently scheduled for that. You'll be the first Canadian to do so. You just saw a real special moment. That's another one. What are your thoughts on getting ready to take that big trip?
You can imagine I have a lot of thoughts about Artemis 2 and what Reed, Christina, Victor, and I are getting ready to undertake. But if I have to boil it down, a lot of it comes down to pride. I'm really proud of humanity for taking on these big challenges. We're really proud of the United States.
It's cool because you can't really surprise anyone.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn, live in Times Square where the moon is about to pass over the sun and create a partial shadow right here over the city that never sleeps. So many people are out here lining up for this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Practiced 12 hours for it last night when it was dark.
Would you practice?
Being in the dark.
It'll be interesting to see what this place looks like with a half shadow over it. It's supposed to get pretty dark out here. You can see the characters getting ready. Everyone's getting ready. We'll show you guys what the scene looks like in the next hour, but for now, follow Daily Mail for updates.
Keep an eye out for in the future. So this is going to be the eclipse path in 2045. We're going to come through parts of Montana into North Dakota in 2044. 2045 is the next big eclipse across America. That's actually going to come, oops, I didn't draw here, there we go. That's going to come all the way from California into parts of Florida there. That is in 2045, so a long time to wait. So really take full advantage of those fleeting moments to be able to observe this moment. I'm going to click on Burlington here, who are also in that path of totality, experiencing that right now too. So just an incredible moment to really see all of this. And Tupper Lake, again, they're still, I think, experiencing that last fleeting moment there. That is just moving off. You can see that is officially now moved off Tupper Lake. Really a fantastic shot. They have that now, that diamond ring effect, that really beautiful shot there. This is, again, such a quick moment, and this doesn't happen very often. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime moment, so take full advantage of this. You can see just how close we are now to Holton, Maine, who are our last stop of the day on our NASA coverage here. This is then going to continue on into parts of Canada and beyond. Holton, Maine, they had some snow past couple days. It seems to have cleared up quite a bit more for them. Really hoping that that holds out for them. They are expecting a duration of 3 minutes and 20 seconds to be able to observe that totality.
50% there. Doesn't matter what race you are, what religion or anything like that. We are here together as one unit in New York City in Times Square watching something beautiful.
Most people are usually terrified for events like this, but this year it seems more inspiring. How do you feel just with the eclipse happening?
If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I could have been gone yesterday, but I'm here today watching this eclipse.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
And you can see the gradation in the sky color down to the horizon.
Oh
too.
my goodness.
Yeah.
I am seeing a bit of that 360-degree sunset.
Yes, yeah.
That is really cool.
It's
now, so they are actually seeing not one but two views of the eclipse. They're able to see not just the moon passing in front of the sun, but they're also able to see the shadow of the moon passing over Earth, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, I can hardly imagine a view being better than the one we have right now, but if there is one, it's
yeah, from the space station,
it's from the space station for sure. Wow, so yes, they're able to take some pictures of that, and that is just incredible. Just incredible.
One of the things they told people to do if you're far away was to hear how nature changed, and it was interesting here. We're of course surrounded by a lot of people, just to hear their reaction when we went into totality.
It's true, the humans in nature have not gotten quieter, but louder, I would say. But I mean, you can definitely hear the loudness has a different kind of character to it. There's almost like a, I mean, I don't know if wonder has a sound, but I think this might be it. Yeah.
Hushed awe.
Yes, hushed awe. That's wonderful. And I can see just one little red, I guess, like protrusion coming down
little
there.
red spots almost. I noticed those too.
That's cool. Now there are two.
Yeah.
Wow. That is just so cool.
Yeah, I like the 360 sunset. It's a little hard to see behind us, but it's.
Oh, we've got at least one or two drones.
Yeah, some. Our robot overlords.
Of course. And so, Eric, I know that, I mean, clearly with the drones, people are starting to get involved in the eclipse, and I know that there are lots of ways that people can actually get involved. One of those ways is with citizen science.
Right.
Do you mind talking about some of those opportunities, how people can actually...
Sure. We had citizen science programs where people could use their cell phones to take pictures during the eclipse. And
we're getting ready to come out of totality.
And here we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's peeking out.
Everybody is cheering. We have just made it to the end of totality. We're starting to see the sun just peeking back out
amazing.
Again.
Now just look at the ground, how much brighter it's gotten.
It is already so much brighter. That is so wild. That was probably one of the most amazing but also fastest 3 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it all again.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was incredible. Incredible to get to experience that here in Holton. Thanks so much to the city of Holton And also thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for coming out and hanging out with us and experiencing this wonderful event.
Oh, it was my pleasure, and congratulations to the city of Holton here for doing such an amazing job covering the eclipse. It was amazing.
I mean,
well orchestrated.
Above and beyond.
Yeah.
And I want to say, of course, a special thank you to photographer Dave Bowman, who has been giving us these incredible images from the telescope feed. And we're going to enjoy as the rest of the eclipse kind of ends here, going back in the direction that it came. And with that, we're going to send it back over to you, Megan.
Alrighty. Thanks, Angelique. So, Gina, I mean, what do you think? Like, we literally have just watched the eclipse travel, what, about 2,600 miles?
It's going across
Mexico to Maine.
Yes.
In like, what, about 88 minutes?
That's right. It's
so
fine.
fast.
That 1,900 miles per hour that the shadow's traveling.
I mean, did you have a favorite location?
For me, I think between Russellville and Dallas, just getting to hear some of my colleagues and their excitement too, it was amazing.
Oh my goodness, yeah, no. So, I don't know, I have to be a little bit biased. We did have some cloud cover here,
We did.
but to see it with your real eyes was just...
And we had that moment, which was
We
important,
did, yes. It was amazing. And so it's really cool too, just to think about how millions of us now have this shared moment of what could be a once-in-a-lifetime event.
It's true.
And so, folks, we have time for some more questions from our viewers. And again, we have another great question from Mackenzie, who's in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
Let's roll it now.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie. I am in 3rd grade. My question is, what is the difference between a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse?
Thank you for that question, Mackenzie. Okay, let's talk about the difference between the eclipses. Now, the solar eclipse that we had today is when the moon crosses between the Earth and the sun. But we also get lunar eclipses, and a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth crosses between the moon and the sun. So it's really about where the shadow's going. Today, we have the moon shadow projecting on the Earth. During a lunar eclipse, we have the Earth shadow projecting onto the moon. So that's the main difference there.
That we just saw, too, those incredible views from space,
That's
you
right,
know,
from
to see
space
that
station.
second perspective view. And
Yeah.
so I've got another question for you right now. It's going to be Eli on Reddit, who wants to know, there are quite a few solar eclipses in the world every few years, so why is this one scientifically interesting?
Okay, so yeah, we do get solar eclipses and lunar eclipses maybe 2 to 3 times a year.